Peace and love, family. S. Marshall, aka Smell. Coming here, just wanted to point out um, the difference between reparations and restitution. I think this is really an importance to understand because the results are very different. As you may see here on my screen, I'm taking some notes. I'm actually doing some research about reparations. It is my theory that reparations is dealing with civil matters, civil issues, and therefore, when you're dealing with civil issues or civil courts, you're talking about monetary courts, damages, monetary damages, versus restitution. Restitution may include monetary as well as equitable remedy to make a person totally whole, not just dealing with a certain contract or contractual things that civil courts deal with. So I'm going to read here the definition as you see here, what I've got here so far, the differences between reparations and restitution. Reparations is saying payment of an injury or damage. That's very key. I'm going to say it again. Payment of an injury or damage to redress for a wrong done. And it goes on, as you can read for yourself, give an example of how several states have adopted the Uniform Crime Victims Reparation Act. You have to be careful with some of the wordings that our legal system use here in the United States because they're tricky and they tend to may confuse, and I think purposely confuse the public. You see the word crime, and you see the word victim, and you see the word reparations, and you see the word act. Well, crime in this sense is not maybe dealing with criminal. And so criminal and crime may have a difference. And so that's a little tricky right there, but and it gives an example. The example it gives, and I'm going to read, certain federal statutes also provide for reparations for for violation of the act. And this act you will find it was put together, I think, by the Florida Bar Associations or a committee dealing with the Florida Bar Association. And it gives an example: a person suffering loss because of violation of Commodity Futures Trading Act may seek reparations against the acts against violator. Commodities, as you know, we're talking about trading stocks, all various real estate, whatever. Well, maybe not real estate, but whatever monetary, contractual, again, trading going on. And so you have the word crime, but you're still dealing with civil, and this is dealing with reparations. So how is it that some of our leaders, so-called leaders in the so-called black African American community, that's a whole nother subject, but anyway, the so-called, are preaching and trying to lead about reparations when we're dealing with, at the end of the day, a civil contractual matter? What is it that was the slave? What part of did the master and the slave contract was broken? That's family. That's a dead end road. That's a road that kind of leads to nowhere. But let's look at restitution. Restitution, it says here, is an equitable remedy under which a person is restored to his or her original position prior to loss or injury, or placed in the position he or she would have been had the breach not occurred. And that's Black's Law Dictionary. So, let me ask you, what are the better two should our people be pursuing for the crimes, I would say criminal acts against humanity of slavery? Restitution. We should be having a conversation about restitution, about making our people whole, restoring our people back to our original state. And if you want to go back to our original state, let's talk about the Moorish Empire, right? Islam. So I just want to point this part out, that there is a difference, and there is a legal difference in the end game by how you start out your argument. And our argument, obviously, it should be restitution. And as you see, there's something I want to get into about property reparations. What is that? Nobody spoke about that. But again, rather than property reparations, it should be property restitution. We want to take the angle of criminal acts, violations of criminal acts against humanity. It don't matter, even if, okay, it was lawful to, in the United States, lawful to have slaves. However, it should be noted that there were slave codes, and there was codes on conduct, behavior codes, and so forth, that the master, the slave, what we call the slave holders had to abide by. And again, now that I think about it, codes go into civil aspirations. But as you can see, it's a big scramble. It's a big confusion and gambling of these terms and these legal terms that people can get us confused in actually getting the results that we want to get. But I believe that restitution is the better road to go down in trying to restore our people back to their lost heritage. Peace and love. That's my shoe, aka Snap. Hit like, subscribe, share.